It's been a long time since I've done that. Hi, Gemini. Happy birthday season. Let me just get myself situated here so that it's not like I'm looking so high up to the sky. That didn't really change anything. Hi, I'm Kendrick, and this is Providence Tarot. Gemini, it's been a while since I've done a reading for you. It's your birthday month, and you are the first mutable sign, so we're going to go with you first. You know, it's a very pivotal moment for us as humans here on Earth. There are a lot of things going on. That's why this video is called All Things Considered. Gemini season is one of alertness and one of multiplicity, one that is very diverse in its opportunities to have many things occur and many things happen. We are just kind of getting into that new energy of warmth, right? We are kind of finishing out the spring and we are really about to start summer. So we are trying to finish out some energies, you know, but it's like the level of connectedness right now is very scattered, as Gemini energy can be in a lower polarity, but then on a higher polarity, Gemini energy is, you know, it it's non-identifiable. It's non-binary. It is not masculine. It is not feminine. It is not black. It is not white. It is not anything that you have to be. There are no expectations with Gemini, and therefore there are no limitations with Gemini. The only limitations that Gemini might have is, you know, not being able to solidify something or bring it down to a manifestation level. So right now we're trying to manifest something, but it's just an idea and a concept, and we are arguing over our ideas and over our concepts and over our belief systems. And you know, a lot of this stuff has to do with everyone just being so either stubborn in their head or just ignorant in their head, or you know, their head is hurting from having to explain themselves over and over and over again. Um, there's a lot going on, and I just wanted to kind of like address that energy first. I've got candles burning, I have crystals here. I have incense burning. I'm burning jasmine for you as Venus is in your sign. Retrograde, but still there. It's in its esoteric rulership. I also burned some sage, so we're good. We're clearing this energy. We're working from love and light and positivity. So, what we are also working with is the Runes Oracle deck today. Okay, we're going to be using those. I would like to ask you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, like the video. You can comment on it if you'd like, and definitely share it as well. Doreen Virtue, Romance, Angels Oracle, right here. That's the other one I'm using. Sorry, kind of jumped over that one. And then the Archangel Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue as well. That's what those look like. And then I'm also going to be pulling from the Keepers of the Light Oracle cards by Kyle Gray. And maybe, just maybe, if you're lucky, Gemini, I will pull one card from the 72 Names of God meditation deck. Okay? Because you're very connected to that energy of spirit and inspiration in God. But I'm guessing you're wondering what tarot deck I'm going to use for you. And it is going to be the Druid's Craft because it's your birthday. And I love this deck and it's very special to me. So, let's go ahead and shuffle these cards. You know, re-strategizing, reassuring, reimagining. We're reimagining things, definitely. We're being re-inspired to communicate something in a way that is going to be heard, understood, right? I feel like time is something we've been waiting long enough for. Let me just get into your energy, okay? Gemini, June 2020. We're listening to Bach cello suites. It's one of the first things that we have to choreograph to at Juilliard. Well, when I was there. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut your deck, and I'm going to do something a little bit more specialty for you today, which is do my 3-stack read, and then I'm going to flip over and then put them back together. The Fool. So this is Uranus. Uranus is in your 12th house. For some of you, it might even be in your 11th house, depending on if you are a Gemini rising. Okay, so this is kind of shaking things up in terms of friendship, and it could also be shaking things up in terms of like just you feeling vulnerable, you feeling exposed. You also could be feeling, inspired just by how spirit, the universe is giving you the hope and the sense of optimism in some kind of way. It's almost like you still feel good about where you're going. You feel like you have nothing to lose now. And I feel like you feeling like you have nothing to lose is making you feel more free. It's a weird way because in this state of things, who feels free? But you feel some sort of freedom, right? Also, Uranus does talk about radical changes and sudden shifts that happen and that occur for you. So you might be experiencing a major shift or a major change, okay? Um, and it's almost kind of like all encompassing. You feel like everything has something to do with the other thing as well. Everything is connected, and you are just kind of getting like a very grand perspective here. You're starting to understand a little bit more, right? But just be careful of like the conspiracy theory type of things. Two of Wands, this is Mars in Aries, okay? And Mars in Aries is very much at home. This is the card of Dominion, the Lord of Dominion. This is energy, this is passion, and this is drive. This is power. And this is also very transformative energy, right? It's almost kind of like, what are you going for? What is it that you are understanding that you would like to do that is going to take you a step further, that is going to bring you into uncharted territory, that is going to help you learn something, right? By taking this risk. You know what I mean? I feel like you're very much into doing it, and you're doing it for like a cause. You want to sort of like explore some new aspect of yourself. You want to teach yourself something new. You want to empower yourself in some kind of way. With the Fool and the Two of Wands, you definitely feel newly empowered. um you know Definitely. Let's see what else is here. The Seven of Swords. This is Moon in Aquarius. So this is the moon that wants to express, the moon wants to explore, it wants to change, it wants to evolve. It's challenged by the evolution, right? It's challenged by the experiences that have caused it to, reconsider where it was going before, after it started moving already. So it's kind of like you might be just weighing some things out in terms of like your new perspective. There are some challenging thoughts that you might be going through in your head that you might be trying to process in terms of your relationships and people and friends, people, places, and things. The Seven of Swords talks about there being some things that are hidden, right? You're trying to just kind of like understand something. You're trying to understand something about what you're thinking. You're trying to process your thoughts. You're probably trying to process your thoughts and your feelings, and you're trying to funnel them. You're trying to channel them into one place. It's almost like you don't have the words to say or express what it is that you are thinking or feeling right now. You might be feeling stuck in what it is that you want to say. It might be difficult for you to relate to something right now just because you don't know exactly how to do it. You know, you're trying to do it perfectly, and there's no perfect way to do it. You know what I mean? It's just saying like write things down. You know, just say something. It doesn't have to be, you know, drafted and proofread. You know, as long as it comes from the heart, and as long as it comes from a meaningful place, and as long as you know that you are doing it from, you know, the humbleness of your heart, then you're okay. The Fool is here and the Sun is here. So this is amazing, right? The Fool, new beginnings, or in the midst of change, feeling like you're on the precipice of something new, of something different, you know, not fearing this precipice, not fearing this shift, not Uranus is very much a shift, you know, and you kind of like are going through this shift calmly, whereas everything around you might be it might be just kind of like, you know, just there. You've got your sights on the horizon, right? On the prize. And the sun is here, which is almost like that energy of opposition, but coming together to create something. It's the opposition that is actually coming together, right? The opposition comes to a head to sort of regenerate something, right? We're feeling very regenerative, not restored. We're changing things, you know? We'll never be the same on the surface anymore. You'll never be the same on the surface anymore. How you express yourself creatively will be different from now on. You know, it'll be more pure. It will be more authentic. It will be free. It will be, you know, detached from the marginalization of censorship, right? None of that. You're wiser now. It's kind of like those things that you may have like thought that you were thinking, you know, or maybe thought that you were feeling, or those things that you may have kind of like thought that you were crazy for thinking. You don't think that you're crazy for thinking those things anymore. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, could have to do with the relationship, the Two of Wands and the Two of Cups. So we're clearly thinking about, you know, relating to a situation. This is your energy, the twos. I was going to say that before the reading started. The twos are your energy and the threes are your energy. The twos are your energy just because it's a one and a one, right? It's like that twinship type of energy, right? Relating and reflecting, and kind of like offering advice. You know, the Two of Cups is kind of like advice given, feelings reflected, a channeling of emotion, a channeling of feeling, very much telepathy, very much like I feel you, you feel me, we feel each other. You know, it's a divine connection that you might have, you know, or it just might be a very like heartfelt, compassionate connection that you might have with someone, okay, or just with something. You know, this is a healing that could be taking place between you and another person, or just you and inside of yourself. You know, that could be it. The Two of Cups is Venus in Cancer. Um, Venus will be going into Cancer at some point later in the summer, I believe. And you might even just be feeling more restored emotionally, right? Because the Two of Cups does talk about, you know, emotional vulnerability and feeling a little bit sensitive because of that. You know, overly sensitive because of your heightened awareness of your of your vulnerability. You know, but you know, this is the sharing. This is saying share more. Share more of what it is that you are feeling, right? Communicate more of what it is that you are feeling. You know, definitely if it's a meaningful thing, then it's going to be received well, because the Two of Cups does talk about the receptivity of you know, communication that comes from a very heart place, that comes from the gut. If you feel it in your gut that you want to express yourself in this way to show compassion, right? Or maybe, you know, do that. Um, don't be afraid of expressing yourself. Don't be afraid of, saying what it is that you feel. Even if it is kind of embarrassing because it's coming from a place of just, pure, not helplessness, but you know how like pets or like an animal will surrender themselves to you and not fear that surrendering. It's kind of like surrender your feelings and what you want to say, release the feelings through saying something, or release the feelings through being creative. You know what I mean? You've got to reflect on the feelings that you're having, and maybe if you can't express them to someone, then you can express them through yourself into something else. I don't know why I'm saying that. It's a two, so it does have to do with material things too, right? Or objectivity. You know what I mean? Um, and it's the beauty of objectivity as well, because it's kind of like, objectivity is wonderful. It gives you freedom, it gives you space. You know what I mean? And this might even just be saying like you need your space or you're getting your space. There's some sense of satisfaction here that's being felt, right? And therefore it's opening up that channel of communication. Yeah, and the Two of Wands is there as well. So let me go ahead and flip these cards back over and restack the deck like I said I was going to. Oh, the Chariot is behind the Seven of Swords. Sorry. So the Chariot behind the Seven of Swords is talking about moving on with a friend, right? Perhaps, right? Because the Seven of Swords is talking about the worry over what to say. It could even be talking about how do we move forward here with clarity in our minds, how can we communicate openly again, and the Chariot is a seven and it rules all the seven, so it's saying like, yeah, we have the wisdom now, we have the time has transpired now, we now believe that it's time for us to see our way to the next level, to the future. You got the seven. What was that? Oh no, you got the Fool, which is Uranus, right? It rules Aquarius. So now you have the Seven of Swords, which is Moon in Aquarius, and then underneath that you got the Chariot, which is number seven. It does talk about finishing something. So this could be like something that might have been challenging and maybe emotionally triggering, may now have come to a place where like it's still being worked out and you're still trying to sort things out, but it is a little bit better than it was before. Definitely. Because we're talking about bringing improvements with those sevens here because they are related to the seventh house of Libra. So you have to be objective, right? Detach the emotions and detach the subject and or or the object or whatever it is that you're dealing with. Take your emotions out of it, like Velcro. Just pull the emotions off of the situation for a moment so that you can see what it feels like doing that, and you'll realize that it's not gonna kill you, and then you can put it back, right? And you can deal with the emotions at another time. But you have to be able to process this without the emotions being attached to it, because the emotions are actually what are going to get in the way of you being able to take care of this. You know what I mean? You've got to do it if you want to get anywhere, and that's what that seven is talking about. If you want to get anywhere, if you want to experience some movement, some improvements to this situation, you're going to have to detach the emotions, right? You definitely have to respect your emotions, right? They demand respect. They sure do. All right, let's keep going then. These cards are so big. They're great, though. That's your challenge, your immediate influence. So the Chariot is what's at the bottom of the deck. This is your energy. The seven chakras, right? We're talking about balance. We're talking about wisdom. We're talking about yin and yang, masculine and feminine energy. We are talking about, this is where Jupiter is exalted. This is where Neptune is exalted, right? So this is really great. This is kind of like the wheels are turning. You know, you can see where you're going now. You can see where your situation is going. Maybe within your friendship, within a relationship, you know, or it could even just be within your home situation. This could be talking about travel, any of that. Sorry, I'm kind of getting very broad with it, but it is feeling the energy, feeling the rumble, feeling the wheels turning. You are sensing a progression. You are sensing movement forward, right? Momentum. That's what the chariot is. Momentum. Okay? Let's look at the center card, the world, which is the opposite of the chariot. The world is actually number 21, which is related to the empress. It talks about, you know, feeling like something is finishing out, you know? Maybe you've learned a karmic lesson. You feel like a karmic phase is being played out in front of you, right before your very eyes. You are in the midst of this karmic transformation, right? You got a couple of twos that popped up before, and those are related to the high priestess. They're also related to the judgment card. Yeah, so you're realizing that you are letting go of something, because the world definitely wants you to let go of old ways, right? Definitely. It's almost like you change the padlocks in your mind, in your perspective, in your maturity, all of that. You know what I mean? You change the locks. Meaning just kind of like in your head, right? But the world is talking about being able to transmute energy. It's the fixed energy too in these cards, right? It's all of the different elements. The world is. And this is an opportunity. The world is an opportunity for you to mature, okay? So you are experiencing these levels of maturity that are just kind of making you feel like you are becoming something new, different, more substantial. Something, you know, you're realizing that what matters most exactly and what's also important. Because the world card shows you what's important. And then you realize what's important, and you're like, okay, now that I know what's important, I can go ahead and move forward. I'm not waiting anymore. I'm not waiting for anybody. I'm not waiting for anybody. I'm not waiting for anybody. The immediate influence, the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is talking about loss. It's Saturn in Pisces, and it does talk about how your memories of the past, you know, and how you've been affected by the journey, right, and the lessons that you've had to learn. It's saying that, you know, you figured it out. You're still just kind of like giving yourself to something, right? It's almost like a codependent energy that you might be having towards something, giving power away because of the codependency that you have attached to something, just because time, or just because an element of compassion that you might be trying to show or give, right? Maybe you've given too much compassion, or maybe you've given too much of your energy, right? Too much of your passionate, emotional, creative energy that you could be giving back to yourself, you know, that type of thing. The Eight of Cups is talking about an emotional transformation that took place inside of you, right? That actually was giving that gave you the clairvoyance to see what had been going on and what should be happening now, moving forward, with the World card being there, being Saturn, and then having the Eight of Cups, Saturn in Pisces, which talks about endings, karmic transformations, karmic emotional transformations within oneself, that talk about, you know, letting go of something, right? Things that were hidden. You know, there was a point of discovery that took place here emotionally, but it was kind of like hard, right? In your past, Ten of Wands, you know, feeling the oppression, feeling the weight of the responsibility of having to take care of so many things at once, right? That's in the past. okay, or in the recent past. This Ten of Wands is also talking about the weight of work, or the weight of the lack of work, or the weight of the lack of movement, not being able to move, feeling stuck, feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders, right? Let me show you these cards. I'm sorry, the Chariot, because I didn't really get a chance to show you. So the Chariot, you're not feeling stuck anymore. You're moving forward, right? If you were waiting for something, you're no longer waiting for that thing, because you don't feel like that thing is going to validate whether or not you can move forward. Okay? You just are. And then the World is here. Saturn, karmic lessons, right? Karmic understanding, right? Maybe you had to wait to understand or to learn this lesson, right? Maybe there's been a whole thing that's gone on that has had to happen for you to see what it is that you were learning. Maybe there were different stages within this karmic process. You learned something emotionally. You learned something that was practical, right? Something that you could take with you. You learned some kind of way to self-reliance, right? You kind of like had to realign yourself with your capabilities to kind of like, reimagine who you are and what you were capable of. Now you're changing that, and then that sort of changed your perspective. You know what I mean? It gave you a little bit more flexibility, actually. Once you give up old versions of yourself that now are sort of like obsolete, then you kind of like give yourself more flexibility within that. You know, there's flexibility within growth, right? So then you have this Eight of Cups here, right? Talking about leaving something or just feeling at a loss with the situation, right? It's Saturn and Pisces. Maybe you know somebody with that placement. Maybe you know somebody who is a Pisces sun, whose Pisces sun is in their eighth house. Or maybe you have somebody with a Scorpio sun and their Scorpio sun is actually in their 12th house, right? Something like that. Um, Saturn in the eighth house. Yeah, you might have Saturn in the eighth house in a water sign, something like that. This could have to do with that person that you're kind of like trying to pull and detach away from. So let's go ahead and, yeah, the Ten of Wands is talking about just feeling kind of isolated and alone within your struggle, you know, somehow, whatever that has to do with work, trying to keep work going, trying to keep work going. It's very you know, it just feels a lot harder now, right? It's like it was smooth at first, but now it's getting a little rocky. Now it's harder to stay balanced. Now I got to lift my legs up a little bit higher to take that step, you know? And you're thinking about all of the stuff that you have behind you. Now you're realizing how easy you had it before. Right. We all take things for granted. Three of Cups is coming up in the Sun position. This is kind of like you needing to you need to reimagine the beauty in your life. Simple pleasures. There's beauty in simplicity. It's about short distance travel, short, easy, pleasurable connections that you can make with people that are that you have access to. Things that you have access to that you can do that are going to feed and nurture parts of you that need it. Your mother is the source, the resource that nurtured you from the beginning. So you're used to that. You have a codependency to be nurtured. You need it. You need it. And this is talking about, you know, needing to eat right, needing to sleep right, needing to listen to the right types of music that are going to take you out of that mode where you might be feeling so lit sometimes. You know what I mean? Also, do some childlike things, right? This Three of Cups, feeling just kind of like flirtatiously inspired, right? Whatever. You could be having a good time, going out and going to see people that you're close to in the confines of their home where you all feel safe, because this is talking about going to being in safe places and enjoying yourself in safe places. But then it's also those safe places that you can create for yourself, right? Which is like make doing things in like adult coloring books, escaping in those types of ways. That card is very Neptune. It's like, don't wait to make yourself to give yourself what it is that you need, right? Because you're going to need colors, you're going to need flowers, you're going to need all kinds of things that are going to just kind of like help you heal through these times that seem kind of uncertain, you know? The threes are talking about multiplicity. You might be having a lot of different feelings here, yeah? So you're going to have to like create some sort of outreach for yourself, you know? Um, right? Activities, cooking. Cooking is very good for your spirit. It's very good for your soul. It makes you feel accomplished, and you're also nurturing, you're sharing, you're feeding. There's something quite beautiful about enjoying the time that you spend with food. It really is. Trying something new. Maybe if you're not used to cooking as much, maybe you could do that a little bit more. Maybe if you're not used to drawing or coloring or writing, you could do that a little bit more. Maybe you should even call your siblings, have conversations with them, call your mother, have conversations with her. Those things are going to be good for you if you do them a little bit more than you already have been doing. Because the threes are talking about, maybe needing to do a little bit more what you might have been kind of like feeling a little bit comfortable with, because the threes do talk about like, reinforcement, positive reinforcement of whatever it is that suit in this number is talking about. So this is going to be good for you if you were able to bring yourself into an atmosphere and into an environment that is going to be conducive to your well-being and your sorry, I say a lot, and your functioning heart, your functioning mind, you know you have to, I would like to see you must titillate your senses: sight, smell, taste, sound, touch. Yes, that is good for you. In your moon position, you have the high priest. The moon in the high priest position. So this is kind of like an exaltation kind of energy, just because it's Taurus being in the moon position. And, we are realizing the challenge that comes with being exposed. Um, we are feeling like we have to stand firm in some beliefs, you know what I mean? Our belief systems are changing. So some people feel like they want to stand firm in their beliefs, but those beliefs that they would like to stand firm in uh, are being challenged because they are, you know, severe ways of behaving, of appropriation. It's like all kinds of things. Anyway, the high priest is talking about the challenge of feeling like you knew who you were, right? I feel like I knew who I was, but now a certain situation or certain someone or my family or my lover or my committed relationship, my job is making me feel like I'm someone else. and that makes me feel uncomfortable, and I don't like it, and it makes me get, tough, right? Maybe hard-headed too. The high priest being in the moon position, you know, you could be feeling stuck in your emotions about something. Taurus is opposite Scorpio. You know, you could be trying to level out these emotions with some reason, with some reasoning. Leo energy, Taurus energy. Taurus energy, Pisces energy, Capricorn energy. Libra energy, Cancer energy. Okay, beautiful. But yeah, we're trying to restabilize our emotions. We're trying to restabilize our body, its mind, its body, its spirit. Okay? Its mind, body, and its emotions. Let's look at your anxieties, hopes, fears. Three of Wands. Alertness, passion, drive towards something, wanting to, you are feeling like you're not able to create as much right now. You're feeling like, you know, it's a little bit harder to make things happen. You can do it, but it's just taking maybe like a little bit longer than you wanted for some things to kind of like start to unfold, right? So you've been waiting for some things to unfold for you, and you've been waiting very patiently for those things to unfold for you, but you might be a little bit uncertain as to what it is that what opportunity you're going to see after, things start to unfold in a way that is going to be, again, that's going to matter to you. Okay? So you're waiting to see things change in a way that's going to matter to you. You know? You're kind of like a little bit anticipating something. It's almost like you're not prepared, but you're ready. It's weird. Right? Ooh, I need a massage. The Three of Wands, maybe you need a massage too. Maybe you need to do some things that are going to make you feel like you're healing or you're relaxing or you're like trying to get yourself into a state, a higher vibrational state, you know? The Death card is in the Mars position. That's almost kind of like a very strong energy. It is, but, the Death card in the Mars position, a 4-13 in a Mars position, there's some things that are changing. The seasons have changed for you in a real way. And when I say seasons, I mean like a 10-year season, right? Maybe even a 13-year season has changed. What are you afraid of? Because the Death card sort of like triggers fear. Maybe you're resenting something as well with the Death card being here. The Death card is talking about you yourself, your ego, and how your ego sometimes gets the best of you. The Death card is saying that you need to find peace within yourself, around the things that you cannot control. Find peace. Conflict and resolution. The thing you fear is the thing that you should desire most. I know I'm saying that. There's a shedding of the skin here. And it's almost like the skin is almost a little tender to the touch because of that. I'm a little sensitive to that. It's a little raw. I am aware of my own mortality. I am aware of my weaknesses. I am aware of how my strength can be squeezed, extracted from me so easily if I continue to desire that which is unhealthy for me. The Death card is talking about letting go, releasing your fear. What is fear? But then an illusion. It's a 4, 13 is. So it's related to the 4th house, which is what the moon rules. In your Venus position, you have the 7 of Wands, which is Mars and Leo, and that is talking about, you know, passionately moving forward through your obstacles, relating to adversity in a way that makes you feel encouraged, strengthened, you know. This is the will to carry on with the 7 of Wands. Do you have the will to carry on a relationship? The 7 of Wands talks about fearing, not knowing what the other person might do or is willing to do, or is thinking about doing. This is also realizing that you don't have all of the control all the time within a relationship. Let's look at this runes card here. I'm sorry, I have started to like not really go through. So the only tarot cards we have left are your 3 future cards, which is the outcome energy moving forward, the future card itself, and the ascendant card at the top of the reading, which is the very last one that gives you the idea of where your energy is going, what's being manifested, or how can you manifest what's trying to come through. That's what the last card at the top is talking about. Your consciousness, how you're connected. You got Issa. So this is talking about your intuition. It's talking about your wisdom. It's talking about, ice as well. So ice could be just saying that maybe something has become cold, or Issa is always talking about the ability to see something before it occurs, right? It's very much the energy of like I am. Okay, so that's your card for from the runes oracle deck. Let me go ahead and read that one to you because I don't read these cards a lot. But Issa is talking about intuition. The meaning is ice. The key word is intuition. This rune is associated with intuition and thought. To the unexpected flashes of awareness that pierce the veil of illusion sometimes cause turmoil, both internal and external. Odin holds a stick at the end of which shines a transparent stone, which could indeed be carved ice. This symbolizes the purity of truth. The literal meaning of Issa is ice, something cold, cutting, yet pure, transparent, and delicate. Courage and moral strength are needed to be able to sustain the truth unwaveringly. How do we use our intelligence? Are we hypercritical of others, or do we try to use thought to make progress? Do we fear the truth, or do we seek it out even if it might be upsetting? Issa protects us from overly harsh criticism, enhancing our critical thinking and self esteem. So, your intuition has been calling on to you to pay attention to something that's trying to enhance your self esteem by letting go of certain codependencies that you may have attached yourself to in some kind of way. You know, you fear the changes a little bit just because you don't know what's going to happen, but you know that the changes need to occur. You know that whatever it is, that this thing that you have been doing, right, is what has needed to occur in order for you to feel successful within these changes that are happening inside of you and outside of you. You know what I mean? Because we're relating to how we are reacting and responding to everything that is going on. Meaning, like, just in your world, too. It doesn't have to be what's going on in the world, but what's going on in your world. Okay? So let's go ahead and look at this Romance Angels Oracle card. It should correspond with the Seven of Wands. You might just be feeling like relationships are just kind of challenging and difficult right now. Just because you don't know what people are thinking or doing. Right? Yeah, it's kind of like you just kind of are looking out for yourself, right? Because this is Mars and Leo. You're kind of just looking out for yourself right now in whatever relationships that you might be experiencing or be in. You know, you're moving forward. It's almost like proceeding with caution, too. So you might be proceeding with caution definitely within your relationships. Because you don't necessarily know what it's going to be like in the future, right? You're a little bit sensitive to some things. There's a little bit of clairvoyance there. You can sense something. You know that something is about to like expose itself. Heart to heart conversations. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. Let friends help you. Ask for and accept support from others. Okay? Definitely. So let's go ahead and flip over your outcome energy moving forward. The Queen of Cups. This is wanting to initiate or wanting to express how you feel to someone wholeheartedly. your gut feeling. You know, you could be going with a gut feeling that you already had. You also could be cleansing yourself or cleansing your energy or healing from an experience that really affected you and may have caused you some emotional damage, right? It could be a relationship. Um, it could be some issues with the mother, or it could be issues or challenges that you might be having with a spouse that is sensitive, or that you might be sensitive towards, right? Emotionally triggered just through being made aware of that. It's almost like you feel the emotions all over again whenever you try to, you know, initiate some healing, you know, or this feeling is always being re-stirred inside of you. So you're having to work extra hard to keep it at bay, keep your feelings at bay, you know? You have to work extra hard to keep your feelings at bay. Five of Pentacles. This is talking about, you know, challenges with money, challenges within a, you know, a job, or challenges that might be taking place because you feel isolated. You know, you might just be worrying about something that you don't necessarily have to worry about so much. You're giving a lot of energy because it's a five. You're giving a lot of attention to a situation or scenario that you might be affected by differently than other people, but it's not even really that bad, really. Not from this deck. You kind of like are separating yourself from that which you deserve and that deserves you, kind of. You're like separating yourself from the very things that you value. Which is weird that I'm even saying that, but I believe what the fuck I'm saying. Let's look at your Archangel Oracle cards, Gemini. This is so crazy, this reading. It's late, too. I'm going to bed after this. You better believe it. And I'm going to wake up in the morning and do another one. So what are we doing? What are we talking about with Gemini? Like, what are we saying? What are we saying? Like, what are we saying? I know I said I was going to light that candle again. It's okay, right? I'll light it when I go to sleep to cleanse my energy. Almost done with the reading, guys. We're about to choose two more Archangel Oracle cards during Virtue, and one by Kyle Gray. Oh, actually, I also said that I was going to do one of these 72 Names of God cards. Give you something at the very end, right? Peace. Love it. Archangel Chamuel. Peace comes from remembering that only love is real. And this dove is peace, representative of that. So you've got to let go of your resentment. You've got to let go of any expectation that you might have, because expectations don't necessarily bring you inner peace. They don't. So let go of those expectations, my love. Oh, the Fool is at the top of your reading. Definitely let go of any expectations. That's Uranus. That's talking about the magic that change brings when you just allow yourself to go with the flow, you know, of change. Uranus is the higher octane of Mercury, and Mercury is the first planet that gives us the adaptability that we need in order to be able to be flexible in life. And you know, most things that we don't want to break have to have some element of flexibility to them. Planes, skyscrapers, they all are not rigid enough. They have to have some sort of give. You know, they've got to receive a little bit of stress. And stress is not a good word, but you know what I mean. Opposition. Opposition creates strength and makes things, you know, stronger. Serapis Bay. Ascension. Move into your true self. Rise above the darkness. The light is here. Move into your true self. So if you're operating on a lower polarity and you know that you are, and that's not really your beat, that's not really your rhythm, then you might need to reassess some things and rise above whatever it is that is making you feel like or think that or be like this. Right? And sometimes you do have to take the higher road. Sometimes you are the one that has to turn on the light switch in a room full of darkness when you know somebody else is in there and they should be turning the switch on. You know, so, you know, it's about you allowing others to sort of receive that energy of light, you know, of a higher vibration. You know, insist on a higher vibration, darling. Insist on a higher vibration. So, I think that all is well. Everything is happening exactly as it is supposed to. With hidden blessings, you will soon understand. Patience. Archangel Jophiel, your dreams are blooming more rapidly than you realize. Still, they need nurturing and patience. Right? You better keep going. And the last card for you. Love you so much. You're about to have a full moon in your 7th house of Sag. And if it's not your 7th, it's maybe your 6th or something like that. Let me go ahead and choose one of these cards for you from the 72 Names of God meditation deck. These are fairly new. I've had them for a while, but they're kind of hard to shuffle. Thank you for like, sharing, and subscribing. I do have the donate button up on the page now. If you'd like to donate to the channel, click on that button, and you can send something over to my PayPal for me. Let me do this a couple more times because I like to do it my way. There we go. Sometimes I just gotta like make them do what I want them to do. Pluto and Saturn in the 1st house. Okay. Last time. We're listening to Bach cello suites. Gemini rules the hands, and music is so Gemini. It's Pisces, but it's coming from a place. Side and out. I just felt some electricity. Sexual energy. Oh my goodness. And the name is Kaf Vav Kuf. With this name, I purify my desires so that I share love and energy with my partner, putting his or her needs ahead of my own. I ignite sexual energy so that my passion helps elevate all existence. I replenish the light that was lost due to any prior selfish sexual activities. All right. You better bring that light back in. Cleanse yourself sexually. Maybe you need to burn a red candle or an orange candle, which will be more of like a sacral chakra thing. You know? Hey, I like it. You have to channel your sexual energy. You have to embody your sexual energy. And your sexual energy does not mean that you have to be having sex to be expressing sexual energy. Sexual energy is in your clothes, it's in, the way that you carry yourself, it's in your behavior, it is in your beauty, right? It is in the way that you choose to communicate. Sexuality is within everything because sexuality is biology and science, and that is in everything. I love you, Gemini. We are in the north node of Gemini right now, and that is my north node. Happy birthday. You all are so playful and giddy, and maybe you are handling this pretty well. Maybe it's making you confused and you want to pull away and detach. Maybe it's teaching you some things that you were learning already and maybe at a more rapid pace. Maybe you're learning some hidden things. You're having some hidden epiphanies that you didn't realize you would be having. Maybe that's for the better. Maybe that's positive for you. And maybe it's something that you may sense as being a negative that actually would be positive for you in the long run. It may just not feel that good right now in the moment. I hope you have a wonderful June and a wonderful birthday season. Please like, share, and subscribe. It's kind of late, so I really do hope that I gave you something good. All right. I love you, Gemini. Bye. Oh, like, share, and subscribe. Comment. Follow. Go over to Instagram. Follow Providence Tarot there. My personal account is NYC Kendrick. I have 2 other accounts, and you might be able to find them from my main.